Or, what is this? Scenario select? Wait, am I supposed to choose the first route that I want to do right here, right now? But if that's the case, then it's kinda weird that Ria isn't selectable. Or maybe this is one of those things where you can choose the order of the upcoming scenes yourself. Be that as it may, let's start with Reina, shall we?
本当にやめちまうのかよ、オーロ。俺との約束はどうなるんだよ。
I'm sorry.
オーロくん、私のためだよね。私のためにあんなこと。私のためにオーロくんの夢が。
It's not like that. It wasn't for anyone else. It was for myself. I wanted to walk a path in life I could accept, free of feeling shame toward those around me. I wanted to be golden. That was all. Ah! Ugh. Morning, huh?
おはようゲロ。起きる時間ですわよ。ってあら、もう起きてましたの。珍しい。
Ah, morning, Mina-chan.
先輩、おはようございます。
Akane-chan too, good morning. Lively as always, I see. It was 6 o'clock in the morning. Once again, a collection of boisterous voices had driven me out of bed. Wow, so cold! It's super chilly out today, huh?
11月に入ってとうとう冬本番ですわね。今くらいの時期は油断すると風が怖いですよね。
Yeah, which is why I always want to stay in bed.
それは甘えですわ。ほらほら、さっさと出なさいな。顔も洗う。体操すれば温まりますよ、先輩。みんなもう外で待ってますから。
The underclassmen, girls, sure were lively. My goodness. Strip. What's wrong?
いきなり脱ぐんじゃありません。びっくりしましたわ。
Oh, what's the big deal? It's just my shirt. I ordinarily got changed in the bathroom, but I decided to get undressed while I was still in bed.
まったくもう。こちら2人もレディーが揃ってますのよ。礼儀というものをわきまえてですね。
Mina-chan grumbled with flushed cheeks. While Akane-chan spazzed and made a bunch of random noises. Despite their different reactions, they were both awfully innocent. Neither of you can deal with seeing a naked guy, huh?
体勢ってそりゃ見たことないですもん。同年代の男の子かとか。そんな野蛮人、あなたくらいですわ。
How adorable.
逆に先輩は平気なんですか？見せるの。
It's not a matter of being fine with it or anything. I mean, I'm obviously going to keep my pants on, and it's socially acceptable for a guy to be shirtless anyway.
それは確かに。
Besides, it doesn't bother me if you see me topless anyway, Akane-chan.
先輩、それってどういう。
It's kind of embarrassing, but I think of you like a close relative, sort of like a younger niece or relative you'd hop in the bath with, you know?
恐縮です。
Alright, changing complete.
服 逆にも取り乱しましたわ。ところでゲロ。
Yeah? Mina-chan suddenly came up to me while I was getting ready for my morning workout with Akane-chan. Why freak out about seeing me shirtless and then touch my chest like it's no big deal? She ran her hands along my chest.
胸板を確かめたのです。適度に筋肉を感じますわね。腹筋や腕は日常生活でもつくものですが、胸の筋肉はよっぽどのことじゃつきませんわ。あなた、何かスポーツでもやってらしたので？それ、自分も気になってました。先輩、スポーツ全然やらないって言ってましたけど、でも動きはちゃんとしてますよね。学園に来る前とか何かやってたので？
He played baseball, didn't he? Ah, that's my little secret. It was another sunny day. After radio calisthenics, I got ready for school and had a decent amount of time to spare. I'd been a little fixated on breakfast in recent mornings. The cafe here has got a pretty impressive spread.
そうですね。基本セットの他はビュッフェスタイルなので、レパートリーって意味じゃすごい数ですね。
Since it was an academy-affiliated cafe, it provided a super basic breakfast of toast, salad, scrambled eggs, and milk free of charge. You could even get a single cup of coffee on the house, and that was plenty to start off your day.
ここのお店、コロッケがすごく美味しいから、それを挟んでコロッケサンドにするのが朝の贅沢なんよ。体作りのためにタンパク質を増やしたいから、シーチキンとリンゴを足すのもおすすめです。
やっぱコラーゲンかな。ほら、11月って紫外線やばいって言うし、コラーゲンセットなら追加350円だし。
Rich girls are incredible. There was some staggering variety in the add-ons you could purchase. The extras weren't free and were often sold for 50 or 100 yen each. If you could spend 500 yen or so on an ordinary breakfast set, then there was full enough a menu to put together a hearty dinner too. With all the different restaurant delivery options at dinner time, you would never expect it was a student dormitory with these amenities, but even the dorm-facilitated cafe was amazing. Once again, I really had underestimated the power of Noble Academy. You could change your order every morning and it'd be totally fine. For today's breakfast, I selected the German sausage set. A triple set of Arabiki sausage, pork and herbs came to a total of 100 yen. It was crazy cheap, yet insanely satisfying.
なんでこれまで知らなかったの？もう入って1ヶ月以上経つよね。
You're the ones who wouldn't let me in? I'd had limited access to this cafe until recently. I had eaten the basic breakfast basically every day, but that was the only thing I'd ever had the chance to try. All because you know who had curtly brought me the free set and nothing else every single time.
それは大変失礼しました。
Wow! I had noticed that the dodgy girl had closed in. After breaching the subject, Gaga quickly darted off. Damn her, she dumped this troublesome person off on me.
私としたことが気が回せなくて、市松さんの楽しみを奪ってしまいましたね。
That's not really...
こちらも、寮の皆が嫌な顔をするのではと思い、折衷案として間に入っただけのことですけど、私のいないところで恨みつらみを述べるほど根に持ってらしたなんて、本当に申し訳ありません。どうしたら許していただけるかしら。
I don't have any grudges against you, really. Ugh, I got roped into an awful situation first thing in the morning. The boarders seemed to welcome me, though. However, Jogasaki decided to change up her attack strategy now that she was the only one left who wanted to oust me. She would basically hack me to no end while maintaining a neutral position. Jogasaki probably wanted to keep me under a moderate degree of stress and wait for me to expose some shortcoming. Damn, it really made an enemy of an awful woman. And then...
なになにオーロがあやかっちに何かしたん？は？何したさっさと謝った方がいいぞオーロ。
Another party entered and got involved from the opposite direction.
別に私が何かされたとかじゃ。
いやいや、オーロのことだから何かしたに決まってる。間違いないね。さあ言ってごらんあやかっち。どんなセクハラされたん？乳揉まれた？お尻触られた？
いや、
謝りなさいオーロ。あやかっちのエロバディにたぶらかされてフラフラ言っちゃったのを謝りなさい。
I did not! Oh, hi, Mark. I shouted at her. The topic of discussion was veering off in a pretty horrendous direction. However, thanks to Reina's obnoxious cackling, onlookers assumed it was all a joke and giggled as well. And then... Jogasaki couldn't stomach being singled out in our 3-person comedy skit, blushed and left. Which meant I was free.
あやかっちは相変わらずエロ攻めに弱いですな。
You saved me.
ん？
Reina shrugged off, essentially telling me not to worry about it, and grinned. That was ideal interference if you ask me. Jogasaki's methods were consistently on the brink of harassment and were designed so anyone who intervened poorly would end up the bad guy. If I were to elaborate further, even if you chastised Jogasaki perfectly, that would cause turbulence of its own later on down the line. Reina's method of leading into a conversation Jogasaki would naturally not want to be a part of worked out so nobody got hurt. I thought this for a long time now, but her ability to adapt to any given situation was incredible. She was skilled at striking a perfect balance.
まあ気にしないで。私が粗挽きウィンナーが好きだった。それだけの話さに。
Arg! Who said you could eat my food? She chowed down on one of the sausage links from my breakfast.
いいじゃんいいじゃん。オーロのウィンナーをお口いっぱいに頬張りたかったの。ダメ？あー、オーロのウィンナーこんなに太い。あれ？すっげえしけづら。
You know, you do sometimes see pubescent boys overreact to dirty jokes, especially in manga written by women, but real men aren't that stupid.
なんだ、残念。
What quote-unquote sucks about it exactly? Oh well, she did rescue me, so I could probably spare a single sausage link. You tell dirty jokes at 7:30 in the morning without a moment's hesitation, huh?
いいじゃん別に。
Compared to the angels who squeaked the second they saw my chest, it just seems awfully scuzzy.
薄汚れた言うな。
Hmm? Suddenly, Reina's gaze landed on my face. She was staring at me. What was it?
オーロ、コーヒー牛乳飲む？
I'm the type who takes his morning coffee black, actually.
でもコーヒー牛乳の方がいろいろとこうテンション上がるっしょ。
Huh?
いいならいいや。
Off she went. What was that about? Talk about a weirdo. But come to think of it, I guess I didn't know much of anything about Reina.
おはよう、オーロ。
おはようございます。
Hiya! I headed to school. It had already been just under 2 months since I enrolled at Noble Academy, and I was already fitting in like a glove.
今日の科学は予測計算の課題が出ていましたね。やってきましたか？
Of course not. Let me copy yours. My studies aside anyway. I certainly tried to fit in, but... Sylvie, you don't have many friends, do you?
あ、ご挨拶ね。
腕を落としますよ。
Pardon me.
私、友達少ない？
You're only close with me and a couple of other people, right? Isn't that enough?
かもね。
Well, it wasn't really a matter of friends or anything like that. It made sense with our class when both Sylvie and Elson had established themselves as being out of place. Setting myself aside, there were very few who could calmly approach the princess and drum up a casual conversation. Those who did approach her didn't seem so much like friends as much as fans. They only seemed to want to watch and squeal from a short distance away. Sylvie herself was friendly to all of her classmates, so their relationship did seem decent to me in its own right, but when I start to think about it, you're awfully close to her, huh? I looked over at Reina. She was off chatting with her other friends in class today. Ha! You shouldn't sit like that, Reina. I can see your panties. I can't.
レイナ？
You seem oddly close to her. Aside from me, Sylvie was on especially good terms with a goofball like Reina. Given the circumstance, it was a big deal that the Princess Sylvia Summer would stay the night in Reina's room without batting an eye. Did something happen between you two?
何かって？
Did you two run away together at some point, which led to Elsa tracking you down and nearly lopping Reina's arm off after tossing her around a little?
そんな命知らずをやらかしたのは私の知る限り一人だけです。
For sure, there was no way an incident like that would happen repeatedly. But in that case...
ないわよ。特に何も。レイナとは特に何もなく仲良くなったの。何があったわけでもなく近づいてきて仲良くなってくれたのよ。レイナ。
She replied happily.
納得できないってかね。
That's not really it. Reina was different from other girls. It was normal to assume something must have sparked their relationship.
でも、オーラにも分かってるはずよ。私がレイナと親友になれた理由。わからないなら、今日一日じーっとレイナを見ていることをおすすめするわ。すぐに分かるから。
And so...
何オーロ、なんか用？
Not really. Reina noticed I was watching her and walked over. When I shook my head and told her it was nothing, she headed back to her group like it was no big deal. Then...
ねえねえ、あやかっち。あやかっちも思うっしょ？今日のメゴチン、チーク行きすぎって。
そうね。ちょっと濃いわね。
そっかな。
前々から言ってるでしょ。化粧はまずすっぴんであることを基盤に配置すべきと。
ねえ。
そういうレーナは今日はちょっとまつげ濃いけど。
わかるかな。マスカラ新しいのだから分量わかんなくて。
まったくもう。
Setting aside the fact she managed to become friends with Sylvie, she was even on pretty good terms with Ijogasaki. She was friendly with all of us. That was super impressive in my book. There were people in class once in a while who could pull off this balancing act, but I did wonder how they managed. Even Jogasaki admitted to hating me just because I was a commoner. Reina should be the same as me in that sense, so how had she overcome it? Kisaki Reina. It had been 2 months since I had come to Noble Academy and we hadn't known each other for very long, and yet she was a hard woman to get a handle on.
ああ、キサキね。
You know her?
名前だけは。あいつ寮では有名人じゃん。
Wow! I never expected someone like her to know anything about Reina. So, why do you say she's famous? Other than myself, I hadn't heard about anyone being especially noteworthy since I'd enrolled here.
誰とでも仲良くなれるタイプ？もっと言えば、誰とでも仲良くなりに行くタイプ。俺のとこにもちょこちょこ会いに来たっけな。
Oh yeah, I guess she did know about you too. Do you get along with her?
それは、ないと思う。会話自体はほぼしたことない。でも来るんだよな。低学になった時とかちょこちょこ来ては、元気出せとか気にするなとか。
So she kept coming over to cheer you up even though you didn't want her to?
うぜえ。
Yeah, made sense why they wouldn't be especially compatible. Even so, she must have been worried about the fact you got suspended.
わかってるよ。
Ria seemed a little bothered that she'd painted Reina in a bad light at the time. She felt guilty for being so unsociable, but her heart seemed to be in the right place. Deep down, Ria really was a good person.
端的に言えばいいやつなんだろうな。
For sure, enough to, if nothing else, remember the name of a certain someone who takes zero interest in other people.
うるせえ。
Ria turned away.
俺は他人に興味がないだけで、名前まで忘れるほど無礼者じゃねえよ。ダッチの名前でも気軽に忘れる誰かさんと違って？
Ugh! She hit me right where it hurt. Sorry for that, Soma-kun.
くん言うな。
Ria clicked her tongue. It put me in a tough spot whenever this subject came up. We really did meet a long time ago, didn't we?
無礼者。
Sorry. I couldn't remember. I remembered Sylvie based on everything I'd heard. Ria had definitely been there with us, but I couldn't remember. Sorry.
いいって別に。こっち女子のチームで、男子のグループとは基本分かれてたし。
Yeah, I guess. Ria wasn't the only person I was blanking on. Other than the boys I hung out with, the only other person I remembered was Sylvie, and that was because of how much she stood out.
あいつのことなんざピンとも来てねえだろ。
Huh?
なんでもない。
She stuck one of her favorite cigarettes in her mouth and faced away. Didn't look like she was going to elaborate any further. I started to feel uneasy and hurried inside. Let's see.
おろ、どったの？
Nah, nothing. My feet had naturally led me to the fashion studio, a classroom Reina often visited. This was just about the time they called it a day, and I caught her on her way out.
なになに？ファッションに興味出た？もう帰るとこだけど、おもちゃにしていいならお着替えパーティーしてあげるよ。
No, thank you.
なんだよ。男の人形少ないんだから遊ばせろよ。
Reina laughed in her usual easygoing way. I dropped by since I felt like seeing her, but I hadn't considered what I'd do once I got here. I didn't come for any real reason, so see ya.
ああ、うん。
I waved and said goodbye. What to do now? When?
用事ないなら一緒に帰ろっか。
Huh?
私も用事ねっからさ、一緒しようよ。ね。
She squeezed onto my arm. Her boob was hitting me a little. Well, I guess so.
うっし。
I gave the okay after being drawn in by her boobs, but Reina let go as soon as I agreed. She headed back into the fashion studio when...
ごめん、今日はね。ごめん、じゃあね。
She came back.
よし、帰ろっか、オーロ。
Sure. Wait, it looked like she actually did have plans, and she just bailed on them. It was normal to go home together if neither of us had anything to do, but she came with me despite having plans with one of her friends. No, perhaps I'd gotten the wrong impression, but... We headed back together. With that said, we were both dorm dwellers, and this wasn't some bittersweet after-school outing. Our walk back to the dorm was nothing more than the two of us going to the same place. If I had to describe it,
お邪魔さまーす。
yeah. It somehow led the two of us coming back to my dorm room.
オーロの部屋来るの久しぶりかな。
You haven't shown up for a week or so.
か、久しぶりってほどでもないけど、ちょっと遠くなったくらいだね。エロいもの、エロいもの。
Don't immediately dig through my stuff.
礼儀だろ
I wouldn't build up my porn stockpile in just a week's time anyway.
でも増えてはないけど、置いてる順番が変わってない
Well, yeah, whatever's being used would move to the top.
ああ、使ったんね。ああ。
Why are you getting embarrassed when you are the one who brought it up? She loved dirty jokes, but couldn't handle anything especially lewd. Well, anyway,
今日は手土産を持ってきた。
what's this all about?
あよ、コーヒー牛乳。
What's this all about? It was a container of coffee milk that they sold at the convenience store.
まあまあ、ぐいっと行きたまえよ。迷った時はコーヒー牛乳。コーヒー牛乳で乗り越えられない試練はないぜ。
Is this some new type of stealth marketing? I took the drink and poured it into my mug. Gulp, gulp.
どう
It's sweet. Its refreshingly sweet flavor would nearly give honey a run for its money due to its enhanced richness and coffee-esque aftertaste. Oh. So this was coffee milk?
どうよ。辛かった昨日にバイバイでしょ。
Yeah, I wonder what it is. There's this mellow sweetness and semi-bitter spice. I really admired these sorts of mature flavors when I was younger.
だよねだよね。コーヒー牛乳ってのはさ、赤ちゃんみたいに優しいのに大人の味なんだよね。
Yeah. Relaxing. So what sparked all of this? I appreciated her support, but why did she come all the way to my dorm just to watch me drink coffee milk? That reminds me, you were talking about coffee milk this morning too. What's with the stealth marketing? Land a job at Star Hugs or something?
だって朝からでしょ。朝の時点じゃ大丈夫かと思ったけど、やっぱりつらたんだったっしょ。
Huh?
いいの何も言わなくて。ほら、もう一杯飲みづい。コーヒー牛乳はすべてを忘れさせてくれるから。
Sure. Gulp, gulp. Oh.
忘れた。
I forgot. Actually, it's creepy since it feels like I'll actually forget. It's like I'm getting taken in by this shallow brainwashing.
辛いことは飲んで忘れるに限るって。ほれほれ、飲め飲め。
I can't drink anymore. Urp. Coffee milk was tasty, but it was still pretty gross if you chugged 500 milliliter of it at once. That aside, what painful stuff are you talking about?
ん？朝からなんか辛そうな顔してたじゃん。
This morning? If you're talking about why I was upset this morning, then you stealing one of my breakfast sausages was 90% of it. The last 10% was because it was outrageously cold.
でもその前、ラジオ体操してるとこ上から見てたけど、なんか浮かない顔してなかった？
I kept thinking, wow, I'm tired and it's so cold.
そんな軽いもんじゃなくて。
I was a little startled. This morning, during radio calisthenics, I was honestly feeling a little down in the dumps, although it had completely dissipated by breakfast time. The dream I had today. My lingering depression had been from that dream.
でも朝ごはんの時には立ち直ってたっぽいから大丈夫だと思ったけど、さっきの顔色見たらやっぱりさ。さっきはなんでへこんでたん？廊下で会った時もなんか顔色暗かったよね。
My chat with Ria had been a little awkward earlier, so I had been somewhat upset. Huh? She picked out those tiny details in my expression? What the heck? Are you a mind reader or something?
さすがに心までは読めねえけどもさ。でもほら、やっぱりへこんでる人ってそういうオーラみたいなのあるじゃん。
I guess. I kind of got what she meant.
なら元気づけてあげたいじゃん。ぐざって思われるかもだけど、そう思うだけでも結構気分とか晴れたりするしさ。すぐにわかるから。
How about that?
何何オーロ、黙っちゃって。
Nothing. Reina, you're one of those, huh?
ん？
A busybody.
やかましいわい。自分でもちょっと自覚あるわい。でも仕方ないでしょ。こういう性分なの。つらたんな人、ぐさってる人、そういう人を見過ごして後から気になるくらいなら最初からおせっかい全開で言った方がいいでしょ。そりゃあ相手にはありがた迷惑なこともあるだろうけどさ。あたしゃやらない善よりやる偽善なの。迷惑かけたら素直にごめんなさいするからいいの。
Yeah, I know. She was a busybody, but being a busybody was an ability that took some immense courage, if you ask me. It meant you had established a way of life where you could be proud of yourself every passing second. That was ridiculously difficult. An unashamed way of life, one that required an immense amount of courage. It was a fruitless path with no real destination.
もういい。こっちもどうしてへこんでたとかは聞く気ないし。元気は出たんでしょ。ならいいから。帰る。
Reina was acting like a fish out of water, blushed bright red, and tried to make a quick exit. Hang on a sec.
何？
She stopped mid-step. Reina was pretty cute when those normally optimistic eyes of hers glistened with shyness. I wanted to see her this way a little longer. I'd like to thank you for the coffee milk. Want to go grab dinner? It'll be my treat.
いいの？
I got curious after someone made off with my breakfast sausage this morning, and I found a German restaurant you can visit without ordering alcohol. Do you usually have to order alcohol when you want to eat at a German restaurant in Japan? I think it's a bar, so I don't recommend going alone, but I'd love it if you joined me.
へえ、ドイツ料理のお店。珍しいね。
You like nice, thick wieners, don't you? Heh, heh, heh. I'll help you stuff your mouth full of them.
極太が癖になったらどうしよう。
Reina was back to her usual hyper self. With that, we set out into the nightlife of the city. It had been 2 months since I came to Noble Academy. I'd completely acclimated to my surroundings. And it was all thanks to her.